Those in the market for a plane that can carry 4 passengers always want a Cessna or a Cirrus. When they realize they can't afford one, they consider other options. The single-engine market has some pretty great offerings, but why doesn't anyone ever look in the direction of twins? If you define the GA twin-engine plane market as dead, you wouldn't be wrong. Diamond Aircraft control more than half of all GA twin sales, but is it because their planes are the best, or the segment is completely overlooked? How great are the planes in this segment? Twin trainers are the perfect solution to single-engine personal planes. They can carry more, fly just as fast, and farther. Kicking off with the Piper Seminole, anyone familiar with this segment will know that this light twin has been a popular entry-level twin almost from the start. Offering lower operating costs than its larger engine competition, the Seminole is one of the easiest twins to fly because of its counter-rotating props, and it outsold the competing Duchess handily. The handling characteristics are respectfully nice, not particularly responsive, especially in roll, but always honest and predictable, except for the quirkiness and pitch on takeoff and landing due to the T-tail. If you take the inconveniences of the T-tail aside, the Seminole is hands down a great entry-level twin. The minimum maneuvering speed is 56 knots, the same as the flaps-up stall speed. That means you will almost never experience a violent roll-off if the airplane is slowed below VMC. The best thing about this plane is the useful load. 1,400 pounds is a lot to carry every bit and piece of what you need for a cross-country flight. With 108 gallons of usable fuel, endurance exceeds 5 hours. Prices for the new Seminoles start at $700,000, but you can get a used model for $100,000. It will most likely be beaten hard by student pilots and almost invariably have a damage history. You can't get a single with 1,400 pounds useful load, 1,000 miles range, and 190 miles per hour cruise speed. This plane being cheaper at the point of purchase does not translate to cheaper operating cost. Twins are more expensive to operate. At the point of overhaul, you have 2 engines to worry about. But if you can afford a plane, you can handle that, right? Moving forward to the Diamond DA-42 Twin Star. The DA-42 is a plane that needs no introduction. So good that many flight schools never considered it because it was perceived as a lousy multi-engine trainer because it was too easy to operate. In the event of engine failure, the pilot pushes the 2 power levers forward. FADEC and single power lever operation mean there are no prop or mixture controls, identifies the dead engine, and flips its on-off switch to off. The prop feathers automatically. That's it. We agree that the Twin Star is a poor trainer for someone who is going to have to make a living and build time flying a piston or turboprop twin, where engine shutdown is more complicated. Significant additional training will be required. However, the Twin Star is perfect for someone who just wants a twin for personal commutes. Power management is jet-like, even to indicators reading out in percent power, and the need to carry significant power on final when the gear and flaps are down is similar to jet operations. In addition, the long wings make control response and yaw and roll ponderous when slow, much like larger airplanes. The cockpit visibility is excellent, as well as the astonishingly low noise level and smoothness of the engines and props. On only 135 horsepower aside, and with a 3,935-pound gross weight, all-engine rate of climb exceeds 1,100 feet per minute. However, the published single-engine rate of climb is an atrocious 150 feet per minute at sea level. The single-engine service ceiling is 4,000 feet. Realistic cruise speed is 145 knots on 12 to 14 gallons per hour. With the main tanks full, endurance is about 5 hours and 690 pounds can be carried in the cabin. Despite miserable fuel consumption, the life limit on the gearboxes of the diesels and the engines themselves, as well as the need for specialized training for technicians to work on the Twin Star, the DA-42 has proven painfully expensive for many owners. The average annual inspection ran $12,000 before any squawks were addressed. Operational costs plus amortization of the purchase price of a new twin means that rental rates for the Twin Star that we saw hovered around the $340 per hour mark. Moving on to the Tecnam P2006T. With over 3,000 airplanes produced, Tecnam is no rookie in the aviation world. It used its experience making LSAs to come up with a twin that has a gross weight of only 2,712 pounds, using a pair of the proven 98 horsepower Rotax 912 S3 engines. Performance is surprising and impressive. Despite being underpowered, the all-engine rate of climb is over 1,100 feet per minute, with cruise of 145 knots on a total of 10 gallons per hour. 50 gallons of usable fuel gives an endurance of about 4.5 hours. With the tanks full, it will carry 648 pounds in the cabin. The Rotax engines prefer MoGas, plus more and more shops have experience with Rotax engines, so Tecnam's lightweight approach could be the way to go for reasonably priced multi-engine training. Priced at just over $600,000 equipped, the P2006T is at least $100,000 cheaper than the Twin Star and Seminole. Even allowing for amortization of the purchase price, the rental rates are under $250 per hour. Because the engines only develop 98 horsepower, they can't drive big alternators. Each one only puts out 40 amps. That means load shedding if an engine fails in flight, something that will help pilots in training to fly other piston twins. The handling of the P2006T is great. It is precise in all axes and responded more as one would expect in a heavier twin. The engines are not counter-rotating, meaning you have a critical engine. Visibility is the best of the bunch. The pilots sit ahead of the engines. For what appears to be a small airplane, the cabin is roomy and comfortable with plenty of leg and headroom. Because of the proximity of the props, the ability to open a window is limited. Although there is a good ventilation system, the cabin can be uncomfortable on warm days. On the other hand, cabin heat, as with the Twin Star, comes from the engines instead of a heater in the nose, burning avgas as is the case in most piston twins. The gear takes 18 seconds for its cycle, which will work against you if you are trying to quickly clean up the airplane following an engine failure shortly after takeoff. Finally, the Beechcraft Duchess. Despite being out of production for over 20 years, the Beech Duchess is still of value till today. Most pilots will never stop emphasizing its great handling characteristics and lack of quirks during takeoff and landing. Beech did its T-tail right. The only problem with this plane is when it comes to maintenance. Parts are seriously hard to find. Performance, on 180 horsepower aside, is on par with the other twins. Figure on a 140-knot cruise, 1,000 feet per minute all-engine rate of climb, 250 feet per minute single-engine rate of climb, and able to carry 631 pounds in the cabin with a full load of fuel of 100 gallons. Handling is standard Beechcraft, stable and predictable, with pleasantly fast ailerons. Steep turns and slow flight are without vice. The counter-rotating engines mean stall speed is reached well before minimum controllable airspeed, all of which make this an almost too easy trainer, much like the Seminole model. The best thing is that it has 2 cabin doors, which contributes to convenience and safety. The cabin is almost too big, an invitation to overloading, a potentially fatal error when dealing with the anemic single-engine rate of climb endemic to piston twins. The Duchess will be on flight lines for some years to come because one can be purchased for well under $100,000, and the hourly operating costs aren't bad. However, considering that demand will drop as students want glass panel, price will drop even further. We don't see a boom in the demand for entry-level twins, just a slow, steady need for new, glass cockpit versions as pilots who came up with glass demand them. The Tecnam P2006T is great for its more demanding handling than the Seminole, and it's a better training tool for turning out pilots who are prepared for other twins that are vicious if the pilot is careless with speed control. If it holds up in a training environment and Tecnam establishes a satisfactory service network, then its significantly lower initial and operating costs will make it a no-brainer for schools. Otherwise, the Seminole should soldier on as the #1 choice for training programs.